how you can use your PTO and get promoted much faster than originally thought. Coming right up. Hey guys, ECRG here. Today we're going to be talking about using more PTO and still getting promoted just as fast or faster than if you didn't use your PTO. And I've got some interesting stats here coming out of ladders.com actually. And this is the first time I have come across this website, but it seems like a pretty good website. One of those career building and advice and career advice websites. So check it out. If you haven't before, it's called theladders.com. And this article is written by Jane Burnett. And the title of the article is People Who Take Vacations Are Far More Likely to Get a Raise. And she has some studies here that she cites to back it up. So we've talked a lot on this channel about why you should use your PTO, particularly because it's yours, so you might as well use it. And most companies, if you don't use it by a certain date, they're only going to let you roll over but so much, and then you're going to end up losing it. It's a time for you to rest and reset and all that stuff. So if you haven't watched those videos, I would pause this one and go back and listen to all those PTO videos we've done in the past. But this is some interesting stuff talking about how you use your PTO, and you're more likely to get promoted faster rather than if you just stay and work all the time. You're less likely to get promoted, which is very interesting. That seems counterintuitive because especially in America and the American culture, we work ourselves to death in order to make more money and get promoted. And it seems like that's certainly not the case anymore. So what I have here by her, she wrote that GFK, which is I guess a statistics company, surveyed 7,331 American employees from ages 18 and older who work more than 35 hours every week at a place where they have paid time off policies. And she found that the survey found that workers who do so don't always fare as well at work as people who use up all of the PTO days. So 23% of the people who reported that forfeiting their days off were promoted in the last year, compared to 27% of the people that didn't forfeit any days. So 20% of the people got promoted, where 23% of the people who forfeited their days got promoted. So that's a 4% difference, and 4% is pretty significant. And you know, that matters because you would think that, okay, maybe if you didn't use any PTO, you might get promoted more. But the stats show that you're actually more likely to get promoted if you use your PTO. And that's interesting. You would think even maybe worst case that it would be even. But no, you're more likely to get promoted if you use more PTO, according to this. So here's another stat. She said 78% of people who forfeited their days got a raise or bonus at some point in the last 3 years, compared to 84% of those who used all of them. So, just saying that again, 78% of people who forfeited their days off got a bonus in the past 3 years, where 84% who used all of their days got a raise or a bonus in the past 3 years. And that's a 6% difference right there. That matters. So once again, that goes to the point where you use your PTO, you use more of your PTO, you're just as likely, or not, if not more likely, to get that raise or bonus that you want. So that's interesting. A lot of people don't know that. So just wanted to share that with you guys today. She didn't go into any details as to why that might be, any lingering issues as to why you might have that significant difference there. She did mention briefly that, if you take your PTO days, you may be more, if you don't take any PTO days, you're more likely to be stressed at work and at home. Obviously, you can take that to mean that you perform less at the job, et cetera, et cetera. But I take it from a different point of view, where if you are working constantly, you think that it can't work without you. and they don't understand how important you are to the team because you're always there. So, people tend to not really miss something until it's gone. So I think if you take a week off and they're like, oh man, this project is really slowed down when that person's gone, or, oh man, things aren't going as smoothly when this person's gone, and they really miss you, especially if your boss, they lean on you a little bit, to help things move forward. So when you're gone, they're like, man, this person's really valuable. I better give them a raise. I better give them a promotion. So I think it works in that way where, they really miss you when you're gone, and they really understand your value and what you bring to the table. Whereas if you're there all the time, it's more easy to take you for granted. So I think I've been talking about this PTO thing for a while and why you should use it to your benefit. So now here's an added benefit backed up by some stats, not just anecdotal evidence, that it's better for you to actually use your PTO if you can. So I found this article on LinkedIn, and I read articles from time to time on LinkedIn, but I thought this one was interesting, particularly because I've talked about this before on this channel. So yeah, guys, comment down below what you guys think. If you have any experience with issues where you've taken more PTO and have gotten further in your career rather than, just working day in and day out, not taking any days off, comment that down below. I'm curious to hear about that. I think that's really interesting stuff. It's one of those things where less is more. You work less and get more, and it's very interesting. I know, kind of off topic, but one of the things that Europe always criticizes about us and that people notice when they work over there is they work less days but get more done. They're more efficient over there, and because they work less hours typically, and then they have far more vacation days than we do. It forces them to be as efficient as possible in the days that they are working. Where because we work so much over here in the USA, we don't have to be as efficient because we're working so much. So something to keep in mind, that could be another thing here with this article, is that if you're using your PTO days, you're going to be more efficient on the days that you're there because you're taking a vacation next month. So you need to make sure all your ducks are in a row, and that you've crossed your I's and crossed your T's. So that's another thing that I just thought about right here while I'm talking about this. So they didn't go too much into the reasons why in that article, but they did supply some good numbers. So curious what you guys think. Comment that down below. As always, email us at eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com for any inquiries you may have. Want to become a part of the resume review squad, as always. You can email us there. So that's it for today's video, guys. Take care.